Hello, good people. How's everyone doing? Trust that everyone is doing well. I'm Chris Bridges, and thanks for joining me on my financial journey. Thanks for tuning in. If you will, hit that like and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate your support. With that being said, where are we going this evening? Well, a lot of things going on. We've had Bitcoin halving. I like to say it's a process. We've had that process, and now it's good times, right? Exciting things are happening, and exciting things are beginning to happen. And if you've been doing your research, if you know what's going on, if you know what time it is, you know that this is just the beginning. If you don't know that about the cryptocurrency cycles, then you need to go back and do a little bit more research so you know where you stand at, you understand what's going on in the markets, and you're not being hit by surprise. As my mentors like to say, as my friends on YouTube like to say, we're not scared, but rather we are prepared. Being prepared means you know what's going on, you have an idea of what's happening, what's supposed to be happening, what's going to be happening. When you prepare in the stock market, when you prepare in crypto, you can really make some money. You can really make some life-changing money. You can begin to build generational wealth. You can begin to build your wealth. But it all starts with you building your financial knowledge. I'm always going back there, right? Always circling back there, right? Everything is a building process. Everything in life is a building process. It's a building process in your marriage, building process on your job. Everything is a building process. So yes, everything ties back to your financial knowledge. You want to know where your financial knowledge at? Pull your portfolio up. Pull one of your portfolios up and look at the bottom line where you're sitting at. That determines whether or not if you've been building your knowledge, or if you've been standing still, if you've been marking time, or if you've been digressing, constantly shrinking back, not even building your financial knowledge, but not growing it, not investing it, and what you don't use, you lose. So if you're not building your financial knowledge, you will constantly see your portfolio taking huge drops. Your portfolio should not be taking huge drops time over time if you're constantly adding a percentage of your income each week. And I mean, yes, it's going to take dips, but when you take dips, you should be able to scroll through your portfolio and understand why it's taking a dip. Understand what happened in the financial world, what happened in the political world, what happened in the news to cause certain positions to be beat down, certain sectors, what have you. So it makes sense. You can understand why. And then if it's something you have a lot of confidence in, you've done research, and you know it's going to return, you know it's going to bounce back. When it takes a dip, that's a great opportunity to build that position, drop a few, drop a few extra dollars in now. Anyway, where are we going on today? And already said great things are happening, exciting times are happening. Let me circle back something I've said before, and I will always say, and that is, you should have at least 5 stocks that you believe in, have strong conviction in, for whatever reasons. Hopefully those reasons are because you've done some research, or hopefully those reasons are because you've been watching that stock, that company performance over a long period of time, 6 months to a year, 2 years, and you like what you've been seeing, and you saw a good opportunity to buy in on a good dip, right? And then you just want to build a position, right? So you should always have at least 5 stocks and at least 5 cryptos that you are building good, strong positions in. You can grow that number from 5 stocks. You can grow that number from 5 cryptos, but you need to always have at least 5 of each that you are constantly building, right? So as you watch some of the resources that I give you, some of the mentors that I give you that I follow, that are honest, transparent, and help you understand the market, help you understand how to read certain trends and what have you. Okay, those guys and gals, they make recommendations, they make suggestions, they give challenges, right? And it's no problem to follow their recommendations, their suggestions, and their challenges. But you can do that as long as you're still maintaining, building your 5 stocks and your 5 cryptos. Because if you're not focused on at least 5 of each and growing those positions, and then you want to step out into the deep and follow all of these other stocks that someone may be bringing up. If you have 20 different stocks and you don't have a whole share of anything, then you don't really have anything. Now, if you've been in the game a couple of weeks, a couple of months, less than a year, it's understandable that you don't have a whole share of something, because you're building your positions, you're building your portfolio, right? If you've been in over a year and you don't have a whole share of something, and you don't have multiple shares of something, then you need to check your understanding, your view of the market. Because you make your money, you build your financial wealth by obtaining more than one share, more than one coin. So when that specific stock or specific crypto begin to rise, you see the value of your position going up. I was supposed to order this piece of equipment so I could better show real-time receipts, but I allowed my schedule to get over. I had a full schedule, so pulled the item up multiple times. It was on sale. I was supposed to get it. Didn't pull the trigger, so I don't have it. So I do post receipts, but I post it in my community tab. If I keep talking about the community tab and you don't ever see it, then you can search for it, or you can go to YouTube, or you can Google, figure out what is he talking about to figure out how to get to these things. I mean, I posted some receipts. I got 1 like on one thing. I don't know if folks are viewing it and just not clicking the like button. I don't know, but hey, I am posting receipts. But we'll be talking about 5 stocks, 5 crypto. If you focus on 5 of each, it's gonna grow. I made my recommendations of stocks over time. I made my recommendations of my 5 and my top 10 5s and my top 10 5 stocks, top 10 stocks, top 5 cryptos, my favorite tops, and my favorite top 10 cryptos, right? And if you've been following me for any time and you delved into any of those stocks and those cryptos, you would be a happy camper at this point. If you had got in Shopify, all of those times I was talking about Shopify. When Shopify did they split, probably about, if I had to guess, 1.5 years ago. I could pull it up, but it's not that important to me. If you want to know, you can pull it up to see when Shopify did they split. And they did a split 10 for 1. If you already had a share of Shopify, like at the time it was like $3.50, was the lowest it had fallen from. In its heydays, it was $17.50. It fell all the way down to $3.50 before they did the split. And so after they did the split 10 for 1, the price dropped down to $29 and some change, so $29, right? So if you didn't buy it prior to the split, fine. It's at a great price. You can start buying it. And if you've been following Shopify had, if I'm not mistaken, it went up. I could pull it up on the chart right now, but I can see it. You wouldn't see it, and I can see where it's been. But it's not that serious. But let's see, Shopify. Let's look at it for the year. Let's look at it for the year, and it looked like, where is that? It was, let's see, 90.72, but I think it's been higher than that. But anyway, okay, let's say it's been up to $90. But let's see, if you bought it at 29 or 39 or 49, but we're working with 29 as the base. So let's look at it. If you bought it at 29, which was probably over a year ago, it was that low. Let me see this year. Yeah, the lowest I see it this year was like $48 in, like it was just in, oh, that's last year, but in the last 12 months. Anyway, so let's see. It's been as low as 29. It's been as high as 90. So you bought it at 29. The difference between 29, that's around 29 to 30. 30 to 90, $60. If you had 5 shares of it and it made $60 each, that's 5 times 60. Or if you bought it at $10 more than that, let's say $40. 40 to 90 is what, $50. So if you had 5 shares of that, that's 5 times all that profit, right? Just making a point. So I would, my top five has always been, everybody who know me, they can like sing it: Amazon, Google, Shopify, Tesla, Apple. I could throw in something else, but I'm just saying those few right there, right? I say Apple because I mean Google. There are 2 Googles. I said if I get one, you can get them both, right? So anyway, if you have been doing that, even if you was doing $10 a week into each one, you would still be a happy camper at this point if you had been following along with me, right? And if you had my 5 cryptos, I believe my 5 cryptos were what? Excuse me, there. My favorite cryptos, we're not even looking at things, just rolling off my lips. My favorite cryptos is, number 1 is what? Bitcoin, right? You can't go wrong with Bitcoin. Number 2 is what? Ethereum, right? You can't lose with that. Some of my personal favorites I haven't been pushing, but Shiba, that's one of mine. But rolling off my top 5, I'll be sticking with Bitcoin, Ethereum. I know I say Gala, I say ICP, and then probably Sand and Mantle, right? So why I pushing those? Let's see, Bitcoin has been beat down very bad over the past year and a half, right? Been at low at 15.9. 15.9, let's say that was probably about maybe 18, maybe 17 months ago. Didn't put it up on the chart. But 15.9. And right now it's what, 60, high 60s, mid 60s, whatever. The money they would have made and where it's going, because we've had the Bitcoin half, right? A lot of analysts are saying 80,000. Some are saying over 100. Okay, whether you go from 80 or whether you go to 100, if you got in at 15.9, you would be a happy camper. I didn't have 15.9. We're not saying have the whole share. If you would have just put 100 in and did 100 a month, if you stopped at 100, the percentage that it's grown now from 15.9 to 60 something plus, and you had 100, that 100 would still have grown that entire percentage. So it would be way more than understanding the game of investing. That's how things work, right? So you need to find you something that you want to build consistency in, and do that week in and week out. Okay, my finances don't flow that way. Okay, bi-weekly in and bi-weekly out. Okay, I don't do it that way. Well, if you're gonna do it monthly, the key thing that we have to understand is consistency. You have to develop some form of regularity in what it is you're trying to build. If you're building, if you're not building, you're just throwing money in and let's see what it's going to do. If that's what you want to do, have at it. It's your money, do it your way. But if you want to grow your financial, if you want to grow your wealth, then you're going to have to be consistent. What is consistency? What does consistency look like? Well, let's look at it this way. Let's say you love Starbucks. How consistent are you in your Starbucks relationship? Do you go to Starbucks 5 times a week, 3 times a week, 7 times a week, multiple times a day? I don't know, but that's a consistency, right? How often do you call your significant other, your companion? Do you call them once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, 7 days a week, multiple times a day? Consistency, right? How often do you feed your body? I'm not going to even throw out any examples. I'm just pointing out you have to build consistency in your investing in stock, crypto, both, what have you. You have to build your consistency. If you build your consistency, you will be a happy camper. And the longer you build your consistency, my mentors like to say, they say it, I can repeat it because I've applied it and I've seen the difference that it makes. When I say what somebody says, if it's not bringing value, I would not waste my time in bringing it to you, right? So I don't always break down why I say the things I say. I just keep on dropping nuggets and hopefully you're picking them up. What they like to say is, it's not about timing the market. It's not about timing the low. Nothing beats time in the market. People trying to figure out, is this a good time? Is that a bad time? If you're DCAing, that's dollar cost average. That's consistently putting your money into your positions or into your portfolio on a regular basis. If you are doing this, you're working the principle. If you work the principle of time in the market beats time in the market, it will pay off over time. That's what time in the market is. It will pay off over time. Everything goes up and down. If you buy something that is high, then it has nowhere to go but what? Down. If you buy something when it's down, then it has nowhere to go but up, because nothing stays in the same position long. Everything goes up and down. Well, if it goes up and down, what's the point of buying it? Time in the market beats time in the market. It pays off over time. Yes, everything goes up in time, but year over year, it meets new higher ups, new higher ceilings. What are you talking about? Don't take my word. Go to the chart. Take the chart back 5 years. Look at how it's progressed. Look at the progression over the years. Time in the markets beats anything else. It pays off over time. So you can go back 10 years and you can see the progression that that specific stock or crypto has made over time. Okay, well, how long am I supposed to hold it? I hear some people say you should hold your stock or your crypto for 10 years. Figure out your game plan and work your game plan. What it is you're trying to do with in building your wealth. If you could hold something for 10 years, that would be great, because everything goes up over time. I'm not married to stock. I'm married to my companion, okay? I'm not married to crypto. I'm married to my companion. I'm all about building my wealth so I can better provide for myself, for my companion, for my kids, for my grandkids, and what have you. So in doing so, there are great stocks that you want to hold on to forever. Yes, I agree. But I don't have to hold on to the whole position. But if I don't build a strong position, I have no choice but to hold on to it so I can have that growth, right? So I was saying Amazon, Google, Shopify, Tesla, and what have you. Okay, if you get into specific stock, Amazon, Google, Shopify, what have you, at a great price, at a good dip, right? And it runs up. It took its time running up. Let's say you had time to, put in X amount weekly, right? And then let's say it sat there at that buy-in price for a couple of months, and then it went up, $1, $5, $10, what have you. That's not a big jump, right? And you would continue to put in for a few more months. So by the time it actually really runs, you might have a decent position, right? Then you could take and pull some profits by selling half the position or a quarter of the position, whatever. And you look for another opportunity for any other stock out there that you've been watching, and you see that it's taking a dip. Then you would take some of your profits and you would put it in something else that has room to run, because you see an opportunity to get in it. These things happen when you're constantly watching the market and learning the market and making mental notes and jotting down notes as you watch things and you see the performance of it, and you hearing if you're hitting the like and subscribe from somebody who's dropping knowledge and dropping nuggets, and you're making notes and you're making mental notes, whatever, and you're growing your own financial knowledge and you're understanding what's going on in the financial news, what's going on in the world, beat down this sector and drop up this sector. That's how you make your money in the market. That's how you begin to build your wealth. We're in just had the Bitcoin halving, so we coming out of crypto winter when everything was crashing, and we're going into the next 12 to 18 months where crypto will be dancing. We'll be dancing in the upward position, right? Okay, it's already been doing a little bit of dancing this year, right? If you've been, let's say you got into ICP when I was talking about it over a year ago when it was under $5, right? And it's been up over $9-10 for a while. Went up to $20, fell back down between, if I'm not mistaken, I think 11. I'm not looking at the chart, between $11 and $14. So let's say you got in it and it was $5, and you accumulated a few coins of it, right? Built a few positions, and then you see it run up to $9. So that means your $5 run up to $11. So your $5 doubled, right? Well, I've been in it a lot longer than that. So my average price was $2.90, and I had quite a few shares. And if you go to my receipts, you'll see that, mine was up, really nice profit. Said all that to say, when you get on your 5 main stocks and your 5 main crypto, and you begin to build your positions, and then as you see your portfolios grow, that will give you steam as you begin to decrease your debt and you begin to improve your income. Then you'll throw a few more extra dollars out there, and so now you can take advantage of some of the opportunities that some of my mentors that may have put out there, or I have put out there. I begin to talk about a few more stocks, a few more cryptos, and you want to get in it. Well, you can afford to do that because you now increase the pool that you were putting in on a weekly basis. You have a bigger pool, so now you can pick up some more stocks, some more crypto, and you can begin to build out your positions, right? Your portfolio of stock and your portfolio of crypto. And this is how you make money. This is how you grow it, right? And you could treat it like I don't want to say nothing wrong because you're taking it the wrong way, and then you begin to shoot yourself in your foot. You can treat your portfolio like a bank account, right? Once you begin to grow it, right? Once you get up over $100,000, some people look like $100,000. I'm too far away from that. Today you are. Baby steps, right? When the stock market is in a bull market, you will see your money, your portfolio run up like crazy if you are in decent stock, right? There's penny stock, and when I didn't have no financial knowledge and I heard penny stock, you think the stock costs a penny. That's not what qualifies as a penny stock. Penny stock is what a company's overall value of the company is in the low millions. Okay, that's because I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at when you hear people break down stuff and how it works. Wow, I need to make a video about my resources, but this one here is 23 minutes in, so I need to begin to wrap it up. I was on the night just in my thoughts, sharing some stuff, and hopefully giving you something that you can build your portfolio, you can build your wealth, and you can build your financial knowledge. It takes all three of those things working together before you get a nice pie that you're happy with, before you get a nice portfolio that you're happy with. It took me 12 months to be happy with my portfolio when I first started. Didn't exactly take me 12 months. It was a bull market when I started. It only took me 3 weeks and I was happy with the markets, right? But after 12 months, and then I could look back at what I threw into my bucket on a weekly consistent basis. And after 12 months, I looked, let me check this math. I think I only put in X amount, and I'm looking at X amount. That's kind of crazy. What am I talking about? First 12 months, I put in 3K. At the end of 12 months, I had 15K. of course, I was buying and selling, had nice profits, moving into something better, and just kept increasing what I was owning, the stock. It started out dirt cheap stock, graduated to some better dirt cheap stock, and just kept moving up the chain to I was able to accumulate some of the things that I was foaming at the mouth over. When I first started, I was foaming at the mouth over Amazon, over Google, over Shopify, over different things. And after a year, I was able to move my money into some of those things. By the end of the second year, I could almost move my money into anything I wanted. I wanted to say anything I wanted, but there's some stock I wanted, had a few dollars in it, but I couldn't afford a share. That was Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway. He has two different ones. One, you want to know if you can afford anything, when you can afford his real one that has the real money behind it, where it costs like 500, 600, 700, 800,000 dollars a share. Well, if you could pick, excuse me, you could pick up one or two of them at any time you want. Well, you're doing some good things with your money. You've really grown your financial wealth when you could pick up that kind of stock. When you can have enough of the money that you can drop $800,000 into a paper asset and you're not gonna miss it because of it. When you're doing that, you can say you're doing something. If you can't afford half one of them, then not saying I'm at the point where I can afford half a share of them, but I'm happy with where I'm at, right? Take a deep breath. Got to get ready to close out of this thing. It's great opportunities going on. This guy, a friend of mine who I've been knowing for a few months now, we've been talking about investing, and he was saying because the stock market is terrible right now. I can't argue with the fact saying whether or not it's terrible. It's terrible in some sectors and some avenues, but it's not so terrible in some other sectors and avenues, right? So when the market is beat down, that's really a buying opportunity. Name of the game is always what? Buy low, sell high. So when you see a great company and the stock is affordable, then that's a sale, because it's not gonna stay there. It's not gonna stay there. Everything goes up and down, but it continuously goes up over time. Don't take my word. Get in the game for your own self. Begin to understand how to move things around, how to Google, how to move charts around, how to check things out for your own self, and you will become a believer for your own self. In the meantime, my friend, wish you the best of success in your financial journey. Continue to tune in to me. I would greatly appreciate your support. And I'm going to go right into another video talking about, my resources. With that being said, take care. Be blessed. Continue, my friend.